Yeah, when I was younger, I didn't really know what death was. I thought it was like when you go deaf in the ear. So when I got told she had died, I thought like her ear had fallen off or something. And then when I got there, like I just saw her like lying there, and then that's when I understood what death was.
Every day in the UK, over 100 children lose their mum or dad. A young person has to deal with a death in the family every 22 minutes.
My dad was always funny. He was very fun. His purpose was to make people happier.
When I wake up and imagine my dad like standing there, I always just picture him smiling and joking around or dancing or something like that, always like mucking around.
He was very nice. He liked a bit of banter. He used to be DJ. Sometimes he would put on a lot of weight, and sometimes he would get a bit of whiskers.
To help us all understand the life-changing impact of losing a parent, a handful of brave young people have agreed to share what they went through. All the children in this film have had counselling, many at projects funded by Children in Need. Now they want to tell their stories in their own words to help others who are facing the death of a family member.
You get upset when they're starting to feel really ill, but then when they actually die, you get a lot bigger shock because they're not there anymore. But when they're ill, you're still really sad, but then when they die, you get a big shock.
A few children who are preparing for the loss of a parent also agreed to take part in this film to explain how they're coping with fears about their future. Eight months ago, Imogen and Madeleine's mother told them she had incurable breast cancer.
One day you are going to fall off that and I'm going to laugh so hard.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One of their first concerns was who to tell.
One of my friend's mums has passed away with cancer. So she understands exactly, but she's the only one who understands, but the other lot, they tend to keep it low-key. If I say something, they'll ask, but they don't say anything unless I say anything.
It feels a bit scary because I never know when it's going to happen or why it's happened to my mum. And my mum starts saying, why does all these people who kill and murder stay until they're like 100, and my mum, who's tried to do everything right, had to happen like this? And you might have like 2 months to live or a year to live, or you never know.
For nearly 3 years, Amy Rose has known that her mother is fighting breast cancer. Although it is not immediately life-threatening, Amy Rose still has to face the possibility of losing her mum.
When I first heard that she was diagnosed, I didn't actually tell anyone. I told like one person, I think, and then a few people knew because my mum had told her. But at the same time, we were both very clear that we didn't want too much sympathy. Like, I have one of my friends who was obviously trying to be considerate and asking, like, how's your mum, how's everything going? And sometimes I just didn't want that to happen. Like, I just wanted it to, like, be left alone. Yeah, it wasn't easy at all, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone.
I was literally thinking, what is happening? Is he going to be okay? Could this happen to anyone else that I love in my family? Could it happen to my little brother? Could it happen to my mum? And I had all these rushes. I didn't understand it that well because, like, I'm only 11. I haven't done any history or like sciencey stuff about it, or I didn't even know about what cancer was before my dad. I had no idea.
We didn't really know what the ambulance and what they were all for because we were only 6 and 7, and we thought it was a good thing, and we was like, oh, there's an ambulance coming to our house. And then when we got older and her cancer got more severe, then my dad actually started to tell us, like, it's not a good thing, guys, like, it's not gonna go well, sort of thing.
This actual time is when my mum and dad sat me and my sister down on the sofa and explained to us that, like, my dad wasn't gonna ever get better and he was gonna live with it forever and he didn't have a lot of time left, so we had to make the most of every single moment, always smile and always try and remember the happy memories we had with each other.
I think she had gone to the hospital for some reason, and it was around Christmas time, I think. And she sat us all on the sofa in my nan's house, and she told us all.
How was that?
Oh, Maddie had no idea what it was, so she wasn't as bad. But because they had taught us, like, stuff like that in primary, I knew exactly what it was, so I was terrified.
They're stuck on my hands. I'll take a bit more. Then she told us that she has cancer, and I didn't know what that was. And then she told me, and I said, and then she kept on saying she will survive it and we'll never have her again. She survived it, and then, like, 2 years later, or 3, she got it again, and I felt a bit scared about when my mum has gone.
Hi. How's school?
Good.
Congratulations.
Imogen and Madeline's mother, Dawn, used to work as the head of a local sixth form college.
I got 1,000 pieces of homework.
6 months ago, she retired due to ill health.
In March this year, my breast cancer returned and it had spread, which means that it's now classed as an incurable cancer. So they've told me from day one to be very open and honest with the children about my diagnosis and my treatment plans. And yeah, so I had to sit them down and explain to them that although they'd gone through 2 years of me going through treatment and we thought that the worst was over, or hoped that the worst was over, that now the prognosis is very different. So what's the plan? Are you going to try and find tadpoles, or?
And we're going to find tadpoles and fish.
Ooh. Chemotherapy this time is about giving me a longer prognosis than it is about a cure.
Dawn has a triple negative form of breast cancer, which can be inherited. She's been told she may have less than a year to live. She's not the only family member with a life-limiting illness.
Full marks.
My real dad, he lives in a bungalow with a massive dog. He's called Paddy, and my nan has to go over every time we go over. And my dad's got 100 tons.
He has Huntington's, so he struggles to talk and just gets iller and iller and iller.
Imogen and Madeline know they could inherit both their mother's cancer and their father's Huntington's disease.
Well, I could be like my dad, I could be like my mum. Like I could choose when I'm 18 if I can have a scan to see if I have breast cancer or something like that. So if I do, they will take away. They would basically swap like my breast with something else. They just put fake ones in, and then they have to take away. I can't remember what it's called, but they have to take away something, which means you couldn't have kids. So I just don't like thinking about it because I love babies, kids. So.
Don't let me sit. Look, he's already bit one of the things off.
So what do you look forward to?
Duvet days. In our pyjamas with the duvet over us watching films all day.
I feel like this could be like a sword type.
When he started getting really ill, as sad as it is, I don't think he had got to the point where he was so sick, I don't think he actually recognised many people. Like some of the people that like he's known for years, they've came over to say hi and stuff, and he can't remember them because it got so bad. And like I think at the last point, like he couldn't even remember me and Ben. He could only remember my mum.
Yeah, I think that was the hardest bit, was the hospital visits and finally kind of coming to terms with, okay, then Dad's really not well.
And he'd have mood swings, but we knew it wasn't because he was angry or upset with us, it was because of the medication and like how he was getting ill and where the actual tumour was like on the brain.
Anyway, like I went to see her and my whole family was there, and then I said to my family, can I have just a conversation with her by myself, because I got told she was going to die. And then I spoke to her and then I said, I'm scared you're going to die. And she
It's the fact that someone in your life could just go like that. Like you can't really control it. But it's the way that you've got to spend as much time and as much kind of time, as much basically time as you can together, because that's basically all you can do. But yeah.
Oil, salt, and pepper. Yeah. Right, what is next?
Amy Rose's parents are divorced. An only child, she spends most of the week with her mother Claire, who's had a long battle with breast cancer.
I'm pretty sure you can reread the recipe again, but...
So, a couple of years ago, just before Christmas, I found a lump. And actually, oh Lord, sorry. And unfortunately, the type of cancer that I was diagnosed with was pretty aggressive, and it had already spread to my lymph nodes. Telling Amy Rose about the situation, telling Amy Rose about my cancer, it's probably one of the hardest conversations I've had in my life, in that you're going to lose your mum.
Yeah, we've had like we've had more conversations about it. Obviously, with me growing up as well, like we weren't thinking about how like we were in a tricky position. We were thinking about what we're gonna do to make it better. Yeah.
For parents like Claire facing a life-threatening illness, one of the hardest parts is explaining to a child what it means.
You lie awake at night wrestling with it, thinking about it, and you're not strong. But as much as possible, you've got to try and keep them feeling that their world is safe.
I did not expect any of this to happen. Like, I didn't know what would happen, but I didn't expect it to pan out like this.
I was angry with just the cancer. And I was angry I felt angry at Mum for some reason, I don't know why, but I felt angry that she got it because I thought she'd done something to get it. But then like, now I understand and I feel angry at myself for like not feeling sad for her and stuff like that. So, yeah.
You go through stages. Sometimes you're fine about it. Sometimes you're not fine, but you're a bit overwhelmed, so you don't know what to feel. And sometimes you're angry, and sometimes you can be sad, like really, really sad.
You're allowed to be sad, you're allowed to cry. Nothing wrong with it. If you don't cry, then you're just not a real person, I don't think. You have to, you have to have emotion.
So I've started to collect little things that I think will help of memories. So we had this book done, didn't we? So when Madeline did a day in the life of Madeline with me, and we thought of all the big events that I'm probably not going to be able to be here for. So we started with her sweet 16 prom dress. So we looked at lots and lots of different dresses.
That?
Yeah, she didn't like that one, funnily enough. But when she did try on the right dress, look how beautiful.
That was the one that she made on first, which was disgusting.
Yeah, look how beautiful she looks.
I like it.
And then we went looking for a car. So Madeline was absolutely convinced she wanted one without a roof. But then we found this little beauty. So a little Fiat 500, look, with all the red inside interior seats and the cream steering wheel. And the men even put the sold sign in the car, look. So we had to rush round then, didn't we? But we found your first home, which was beautiful. Not far from where your dad lives.
Oh, look, I love it.
And then we had the fun in the bridal shop, didn't we? Looking at all the beautiful dresses.
I like that one.
And which was your favourite one? The first one, wasn't it?
Why do you think your mum wanted to show you those things, man?
Because my mum won't be there to do them things for me, so she wanted to do that. And my mum said that might not be the dress that you'll have, but at least I'll remember you picking a dress out and picking a car and all that. And I said, the only thing that you're going to miss is my driving licence. I said, oh, if you teach me how to drive now. And I'm like, she went, no, you're too young, babes.
So that's our day in the life with Madeline. And we did exactly the same for Imogen. So Imogen's day in the life.
I haven't seen yours, Imogen.
We looked at some dresses.
That's lush. Is that the one that I got?
Both girls want to spend as much time with their mother as possible. Imogen gets especially anxious when they're apart.
If she's not there, I call her like every night. And she says you need to kind of stop doing that so you're ready for the future. because you know you can't just call me up when she's passed. So sometimes I just want to smack her in the face and tell her to shut up, but...
And then this was what was meant to happen with Madeline, where we went for afternoon tea.
She's drinking
and
wine
Imogen
though.
pretending to drink champagne.
I didn't pretend.
Yes, you did.
Do you think you're ready for that day?
Nope. Dread every day. I dread that day, and I never wanted to come.
So I think that's about it, guys. And then anything else we do now, we'll do the same. We'll make as many books. Yeah, we'll make as many books as possible.
One for Dad, one for you.
We'll put all those things in there as well. And you'll be able to go there anytime you want to reflect back on life with me.
Close my nose.
Mind your nose.
Ow.
I actually like writing my memories down, because sometimes as you get older you forget the memories and you forget them and you can never remember them. But if you keep stuff like my memory jar here, then we would put my memory jar for Daddy. There's lots of different, the colour you think of some memories, and for every memory you choose a colour. So say I put going to Greg's, so that's blue and orange because the sign is blue and orange. So that is that one, blue and orange at the bottom. And then also I put beeping in the van, so that's black. Black's up there, and calling each other silly names is yellow. That's that one. And then also silly dancing. He used to do a lot of silly dancing. I did green at the top. Up the top, they're my ones.
I have loads of teddies, bears that she gave me. I speak to the teddy bears, sounds a bit stupid, but I look at them and think at them as mummy because she gave them to me. And I speak to them, and I just tell them like my emotions, what I'm going through at the moment, how I feel.
I'm wearing a necklace with my dad's ashes put into the locket, so like it's obviously close to my heart. And obviously on the back it says Daddy's big girl, because I'm the oldest one, and my dad always used to say that to me, so it's really special to me, and I wear it on special occasions or just whenever, really.
Well, usually when I go to bed I have this bear that reminds me of him. This teddy bear was made from all of my dad's shirts, and I've got photos in my room. I've kind of got quite a bit of stuff that reminds me. I loved when he pushed me on the swing outside the house. Sometimes he would push me a little bit too high.
We did kind of have a few conversations about what would happen and stuff like that. We went through a lot of times where it was very low.
In Wokingham, Amy Rose is learning to live with the uncertainties that come with her mother's cancer.
I mean, it's not been easy. It's definitely been like a roller coaster, because we've had like the ups where like we just had surgery and it's all gone well, and we've had the downs where we're not quite healing right and all sorts like that.
Hello, how was your day?
Recently, Claire's been told that her cancer is responding well to treatment and is not spreading.
Hello, Lily.
But her prognosis is far from certain.
But there's some flapjack to start with. The reality is the type of cancer that I was diagnosed with is a nasty little thing. And it may well just reappear one day.
Yeah. She's still taking various hormone drugs and all of that lot, and still has to go in and get, I can't remember what it's called, but she has to go in and get an injection every month or whatever. But as I understand, like, we're in a better place than we were.
Amy Rose is packing to go away with her mum while Claire's health is stable.
So we're going down to Lyme Regis, which is a special place for us, and it's just somewhere that we've always looked to have a good time and put things behind us.
See, you're not going to beat me.
Right, okay, hang on. Okay, I've got one.
I know that the cancer, it could come back. It's made me treasure, like, moments more. So, like, every moment I spend, I'm treasuring it. Like, with my mum, with, like, anyone, I treasure it more. Because I just think, oh, that could be just change straight away.
B.
Yay!
T.
Yes!
Yay.
Well done! Well done!
I swear I guessed T. Okay, maybe not.
No, that's why you write it
My
down.
go.
Okay.
Wait, I'll just save paper.
Okay, good plan.
When someone dies, yeah, that's probably one of the most truthful things that I could possibly say is nothing will ever be the same. It's like little things. Your cupboards won't be the same. Things are different. You know, you have to stop ordering that type of food, and all the time we'll get hot chili sauce, and no one eats it. No one ate it except from Dad.
For me, before she died, it was a bit like we were like a great family. We were like all happy, go out in family days out, like to the zoo and stuff. And now it's a bit more like we go out, but it's like there's a person missing, and there is, because there's a seat empty.
So are you with your new teacher today or with Mr. Davidson?
No, Mr. Dixon.
Mr. Davidson, you look very hot.
In Wales, Dawn's health is getting worse. She has to rely on Imogen and Madeleine more and more.
They certainly help him more around the house. They get pocket money depending on chores now because I'm just not well enough to do everything that I used to do before.
Right, I think that's you ready for school then. Kiss. Oh, you just coughed in my face.
But they can tell when I'm having a bad day, and they tend to come and crawl into bed with me and give me cuddles and tell me everything's going to be fine, and that always makes me feel a lot better.
I thought it was just a branded house. It's a house. Someone.
When Dawn goes for treatment, 12-year-old Imogen drops her younger sister off at school. Dawn has up to 4 hours chemotherapy a week.
Ooh, on this one today.
She divorced Madeleine and Imogen's father several years ago. 2 weeks before her cancer diagnosis, she met Steve, and they married just over a year ago.
Cycle 3?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, they got married in last May. And they've been together for 3 years, I think. I don't know, 3 years maybe, 4. I wanted to be maid of honour, but I wasn't married, so I couldn't.
The magic black bag. I would so love to know what's in it. I'd be so annoyed if I sit here for ages and just have sugar water pumped through my veins. The worst thing you can do for a child is try and sugarcoat what's happening or to lie completely, because as much as I know that, you know, that this has won and that I will die of breast cancer, I'm also very aware that that I need to stay motivated and positive and just try and be one of those cases that you hear about through the grapevine all the time that has beaten the odds. They depend on me so much. Yeah, it's absolutely heartbreaking, but it does them no good to see me crying all the time. So I put on my brave face and I keep my crying for bedtimes, and Steve gets the privilege of it all, don't you really?
Difficult 2 a.m. conversations and all sorts.
Hi, you okay? I'm in the VIP section today.
Look at that. You can take yourself to here, can't you? If you fix this as your memory, then any time you're going through anything rough, you can pull on that memory. It's like almost like taking a photo out of a box.
In Dorset, Claire wants to make every day memorable for Amy Rose.
Feel like everything's right with the world, don't you, when you're at the end of the corb?
Yep.
Recently, she's made a worrying discovery.
Last week, I went for my normal checkup, my hormonal injection, and I'd found another lump in my breast. And so I asked the nurse to check if she could fill it as well, and she could. So I'm really hopeful that it's something minor, but obviously right now I'm facing the dilemma that it may well be that the cancer has come back again. And if that's happened, then it's happened quite quickly. So that raises an awful lot of questions for me, but particularly for Amy Rose's future and how we go forward with things.
6 months ago, Claire bought a flat in Lyme Regis with life insurance money she was able to claim when she was first diagnosed with cancer.
It's something that will be hers always. Oh, there you go. And I hope she'll be taking her family there and making more memories. Right. So you're pretty well equipped if something did happen to Mummy.
Claire is passing on as many practical lessons as possible while she still can.
Let me show you this. So this is for here. This is the council tax. But basically every month that's how much I have to pay.
Okay.
And that covers keeping the street lights working, emptying the bins.
Yeah.
And this is setting up a direct debit.
What's a direct debit?
So this means what we're going to do. The best way to deal with it is to think about how are we going to work on building things for her future. And I think it makes it all the more important the time that we have here in Lyme, because I'm very aware that time just slips through your fingers. So, yeah, fish and chips for tea.
Oh.
Or do you want to do fish and chips on the beach?
Fish and chips on the beach, that's even better.
Yeah.
No, don't look. Don't look. It's going to feel a bit like a hat. Don't look. Don't look.
Ready, steady,
Okay.
go. Oh God. Let's cut it.
You look so much older.
She
Winona Ryder.
Yeah, she does. Mark Simpson.
Brothers go.
The summer holidays have started, and Dawn is having a new wig fitted before the family go away.
Looks like one of those squirrels we feed at the park.
I love her. Open your eyes, Mummy. Mummy, open
Ready?
your eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I have hair. It's so weird.
God, didn't she look beautiful?
That's lush. I love that.
Hang on, do you want to see Steve?
Oh, sorry.
Recently, she's made legal arrangements for Imogen and Madeleine's future care. She's agreed with their father that they will continue to live with their stepfather Steve, while also being supported by other relatives.
Which wig is Steve having?
Yeah! Hang on, this camera. Perfect.
Well, my stepdad works nights, so he'll work days and then nights. So my nan will come over the days that he works nights. So she'll stay with us or stuff like that. So my nan will be over all the time.
Through my room.
As Dawn's treatment intensifies, the family relies more and more on her mother Sue to look after Imogen and Madeline.
Come on. Come on.
No.
Oh, I think they got free attention. Come on.
Bye, Nanny.
In the coming months, her support will be crucial.
Who is that?
That's my nanny.
How important is your nan to you now?
Really, because she's gone through a lot because my granddad died of cancer as well. Hello again.
I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm going downstairs and I locked it again.
Well, my granddad died March the 22nd, I think it was. And then 6 months later, my dad died in August. And if you had said to somebody, oh yeah, I've lost somebody, they would think, oh yeah, I should get over it in a couple of months, it'll be fine. But you kind of never ever get over it, even when you're like an adult. It's still a big part of your life that's gone, kind of thing, and it's like a part missing, and it's always going to be missing, so.
I'm sorry, it's actually making me laugh because I'm just thinking about him laughing. It's just making me laugh because I'm thinking about him laughing because that's the only thing that I truly remember, properly remember about Dad. It's just him laughing. And sorry, the only reason I'm looking over here is because that's where he used to sit. That is where he sat. Oh God, yeah, that's weird. I've never done that before actually. I'm probably like imagining sitting there. That's.
Today, Dawn is having an MRI scan to discover whether her breast cancer has spread.
So basically we're looking at whether the tumour has started to grow again or whether it's stable or hopefully whether it's shrunk. But quite anxious today because I feel like the lump has grown quite a bit. So I'm expecting the worst, so today's a pretty tough day.
Did the girls or other girls aware how tough it is for you?
No, that's why I tend to come to these on my own. I just find that I'm pretty brave with most things, but this is my Achilles heel, so especially with it being secondary, because I know at some point one of these scans is going to show that it has spread further. So whereas before scans you were always hopeful would show that, you know, it wasn't present, these feel very different to when I had primary cancer.
Right then, let's have a wander. I'll carry your bag for you, because you've got to look after that cannula for me.
To be honest, it's getting harder, not easier, because the estimated time was about 11 months. So we're significantly into that time scale now. The truth is, I am just waiting to die.
There's a recorded voice that will ask you to breathe in and hold your breath. It's about 6 seconds you hold your breath for, and then the voice will tell you to breathe normally, which is just that. Right, I'll see you in a minute.
Breathe in and hold your breath.
I was 6 when my granddad died of cancer. I don't know what cancer he had, but he had like an unknown cancer.
Breathe normally.
They couldn't help him because it was so bad now, it wouldn't, so they had to give up. And it was really sad for my nan because she was going through my mum being ill and my granddad passing away.
Only dropped one so far? In 22 years, that's not bad.
Because that's my mum's dad. So like she was really upset.
Have to get you back.
What goes through your head when you're having a scan like that, Dawn?
My dad. I lost my dad to cancer last year. And the second I'm in there, I just feel in my head that I'm calling to him to be with me. And I get a lot of comfort from thinking that he's keeping an eye on me. But yeah, it's always my dad I think of. And now I know that I'm losing my battle. It's even harder now to think that my family will have lost two of us probably within the space of 24 months. It just feels never ending at the moment.
Boys, where's the other one? Oh, there he is. I couldn't see you there. I didn't know you were in there. Hello. I always talk to my rats. Especially my one. That's my one over the corner. Like, why is everything happening to my family? Why can't it happen to someone else's? And I wonder where your family are.
Yeah, I think friends and family, communicating with them is a massive thing. Like, if you don't communicate with anyone, you're going to just crumble. Like, you need to speak to people, otherwise it will really start to get to you and you'll overthink things.
Well, if I see Mummy upset or something, I'll go over and give her a cuddle. And that's the same with Ellie and Sophia as well. If I see them upset, I'll go and give them a cuddle and ask them if they're all right. And with Ellie, we talk to each other, me and Ellie do. Me and Ellie always talk to each other, and that helps us.
Well, counselling was the thing that helped me the most. When my mum suggested the idea, I wasn't very comfortable with it. I didn't really want to. I thought it was just somebody coming to talk to me about my personal problems, and I didn't really feel that comfortable with it. But when I actually started, it helped me a lot.
You okay? I think. Oh, Toby, your hair's stuck in the brush.
In Wales, Dawn has approached a local counselling service for Imogen and Madeline. She wants both girls to have the right support before and after her death.
You're beautiful, Darky.
The children are dealing with things in very different ways. Madeline likes to talk to through things with me at length and is very open to go into charities that we've been introduced to try and support children through bereavement. But Imogen has just turned 12, is very grown up for her years and genuinely feels that she has the coping mechanisms to deal with what's happening by herself.
Oh, now you're pleased.
Imogen has already had a course of therapy when her dad was diagnosed with Huntington's disease.
I didn't really want to do it then, but I did it because my mum wanted me to do it. So I did it, and they came to the school and stuff like that, and I just didn't find it did anything for me, so.
I talk to my nan a lot, and then she talks to my mum because I don't want to talk to my mum because I find it'll make her upset. So I talk to my nan. And I just found counselling, find it a waste of time.
The one thing I don't need to worry about in that sense is They have a huge support network around them. They will always have somewhere where they will feel loved and cared for. I don't want to bully them or push them into counselling, but I do understand the value of what that can offer and hope that, you know, at some point that barrier for Imogen will have broken down.
There are organisations all over the country that specialise in helping young people when they lose somebody close. Many of them supported by children in need.
Sometimes you can't explain like what's inside of you. Like sometimes you have this feeling about it and like nobody else can feel it unless they've had it done to them.
I think there's always times, isn't there, when you specifically might miss somebody and when you wish they were around.
At the Princess Alice Hospice in Surrey, bereaved teenagers meet once a month to share their memories and feelings.
So what do you wish that you could say to your dad?
Counsellors help them to talk about the impact of their loss and cope with the immediate shock of a loved one's death.
What about you, Amaya?
I thought he would get better, and then the moment that I found out that he had passed away, I was like, I didn't really believe it, and I thought, oh, he's probably going to come back.
I had never actually seen a dead thing, like anything dead. I can always remember I was sitting in the front room and Ben was in the toy room and also Mum just rushing down the stairs shouting, he's gone, he's gone. And I stood up and I was just like, no, and I was shouting, no.
And then when we were having that chat, we just went upstairs to see him, and he was dead. It wasn't the nicest thing to see.
So I grabbed one of my teddies that I really liked, and I remember Dad, I think he wrestled it off the dog at one point when he got it, and I thought he could have that as his trophy. So he was laying in his bed thingy, and I just left that there, and I was really sad. I couldn't stay in the room much longer, knowing that he wasn't waking up.
Dawn has returned to the Velindre Cancer Centre in Cardiff to get her scan results.
You know you're my good luck charm, don't you? You're my good luck charm. Having to wait 2 weeks for scan results is really tough because obviously you just want to know if it's working and whether it's spreading, and because obviously if it's spreading it's affecting the time I've got left with my family. Madeline, she's very in tune with my anxiety, so she's picked up that I'm worried about today, so she's asked me lots of times when I get my results.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Oh, as good as I could have hoped for, really. So the tumour has shrunk slightly. It's great news, and of course that implies to children that I'm getting better, which I'm not. So I've got to be very careful, and I just basically will say to them that that you know, it's the best that we could have hoped for, but just remind them that, you know, this is still still the path that we're on. So at the moment, yeah, today's a good day.
Good result.
I always want more though. I would absolutely love one day to walk in and they go, do you know what? We can't find anything now.
Since returning from Lyme Regis, Claire has also been waiting for tests to discover whether her cancer has spread. She's just received the results.
I'm in a really lucky position because, first of all, the checks were so quick, everything happened so swiftly, but also that when they scanned the lump, they believe that it is just scar tissue, which is good news.
Claire's news means both she and Amy Rose can make plans for their future.
I know that we will go through tribulations in life. Life's full of tribulations. But we're a strong team, so we'll do it together.
Yeah. I mean, it obviously wasn't ideal for any of this to happen, but it's definitely changed my perspective on like life, on memories, on future, on everything. Like, you've just got to look to the future, and no matter what comes at you, you've got to get to like the end of the race. Like, you've got to do it.
Oh dear, there's a cloud coming over.
What? It's raining. No, it's not. It's snowing. No.
Dawn is taking Imogen and Madeline to a place that is special to all her family, Barry Island on the south coast of Wales.
Might be worth, Imogen, if you've got your phone to hand. Just check what the weather forecast is like at Barry.
If you're only going that way or that way, you go through.
You decide. Just remember, I can't walk very far, mind. Well, this is where I was brought as a child. My parents brought me here every time there was any nice weather. And I guess I kept it up ever since. When the children were little, me and their father used to bring them here. Yeah, it's definitely somewhere that holds a lot of sentiment for us. And what have we said about what happens after Mummy's gone?
When you put your flowers, like in ashes in the sea.
Over on the head point. I don't really want to have a gravestone because I just feel the children are quite young to have to feel that they've got to keep it, look after it and visit it frequently. So what we've agreed is that that's where my ashes will be scattered. And anytime they want just a quiet moment and reflect, they know they can come out to the head point.
I remember a car pulled out, like, outside our house. It was like a black limo, and like our whole family got in it, and everyone was like wearing suits.
And she was a Christian, so we went to a church where she would go like every week.
And I saw like this massive wooden thing being carried, and I didn't know what it was, but I got told it was a coffin, and I was like, what's that? And they was like, oh, it's like your mum, their body's in it. It's what Christians do, like they bury their bodies in the ground.
We've actually, at my house, we've got the graveyard next door. He's in there, he's literally, I'd say maybe 12 graves along. And I go up there, like, at 2 weeks, I'd say I go up there around about maybe 2 times, just like if I want to sit with him.
My dad's grave is next door. We I try to visit it every day. I do water the plants there every day, unless I can't make it or that I've got back really late from a party. I miss him most when I see other dads usually.
It's Dawn's birthday, and the girls have a surprise for their mum.
What are you doing?
Dawn remains hopeful that Imogen will agree to see a counsellor, but she's still resisting it.
Mum! When? Mum, come to the kitchen! Happy birthday to you!
In the meantime, both girls are learning to deal with their mother's battle with cancer, preparing for a life after her death. To say goodbye.
1, 2, 3! Now did you ever go?
High five. Oh my gosh, don't leave me hanging. Oh, my birthday as well, you leave me hanging.
It's not your birthday, it's your birthday. Yes, the time is true.
I feel a lot different because it's happened to me and I know how it feels, and people helped me when it happened to me, so I'm going to help others if it happens to them.
Yeah, I do think I'm a different person now. I think I'm a lot more stronger than what I used to be, like mentally, than what I used to be before.
It does make me a bit more sort of tougher and face the world in a different way.
You can still achieve amazing things although this has happened to you. Just keep going and just persevere.
Don't think about the bad times. What's happened has happened, really. There's nothing you could have done. But what you should do is just to remember the good, fun times you had with your special person.
Honestly, I just live. I live to remember Dad, you know. As long as I'm alive, I feel like he is alive too.
Details of organisations offering information and support with bereavement are available at bbc.co.uk/actionline, or you can call for free at any time to hear recorded information on 08000 158 707. BBC Children in Need supports children affected by bereavement all over the UK. If you would like to make a donation to help support this year's appeal, to give £10, text the word DONATE to 70410, or to give £20, text the word DONATE to 70420. Text will cost your donation plus your standard network charge, and all of your donation will go to BBC Children in Need. You must be 16 or over, and please ask the bill payer's permission. For full terms, more information, or to donate online, visit bbc.co.uk/Pudsey.